It's Septa.
And Soar.
And this is us.
Septosaurus.
Rex.
And today we are coming back to BTS.
We are.
Excitedly.
A long-awaited return.
Since last time we saw you, at least for BTS, you guys have helped us grow a lot. I know some of you may have seen our video thanking you for 1,000 subscribers. Now we're almost at 1,500, which is super cool.
So cool.
And we greatly appreciate that.
We really enjoy talking to you guys.
Yes.
It has been so fun.
Yes.
And very educational, which we appreciate because we're jumping into this out of left field. We have no idea what's going on. So
none at all. Yeah.
And most of you have been amazing, very sweet and thoughtful and educational because you understand that it's literally its own world that we have jumped into. So you're definitely being sweet to us and letting us know where we can go to find information and learn more about BTS. And we really appreciate it. And you've told us so many cool facts as well, which we also appreciate. Thank you.
The way you guys responded to us is one reason that we even want to continue going down the BTS road, because the first songs that we listened to, we liked them. They're pretty good. But after you started informing us that they have more like sincere and personal songs, we got very interested in it. And you all spoke very highly of the members themselves, which we love, because it's one thing to have an artist that is super popular, but ones with like positive energy and like positive role models for the younger generations and everything like that is always really nice to see, because with a lot of huge artists, you don't get that, you know, they're not
very
the greatest. Yeah.
Most of the time, but it seems like BTS actually connects with their audience. From everything that you guys have been telling us and telling us to go check out, it sounds like it's a very personal connection with their fans, which is amazing. They do like their live streams for you guys and all of their fun little videos, which I am excited to dip into at some point because I would love to see how silly these guys get.
You guys sort of introduced us to BTS, but now we're going to be introduced to BTS.
Yes, this video was recommended by a lot of you.
Yes.
So this is the one that we have chosen as the putting more than just a toe in the water. Yeah,
this is our previous video was just kind of getting an idea of who they were as performers and such. Now we're going to start actually taking the time to get to know them and their discography. This is the beginning of our journey into whatever it leads into.
Yes, and I am very excited.
Yeah, so we were recommended Introduction to BTS on xCeleste's channel. So of course, you gotta give her credit for that. And a big thank you for putting this together. And from what we heard, she lets people use this. So we're going to go ahead and use it. And we did get a few complaints about the last one getting cut. And I've looked into ways to hopefully film this one so that I don't have to cut it.
Yes, so do not be upset. We will be pausing the video to discuss things as they come up.
Yeah.
So that we aren't talking over her because obviously we're supposed to be learning things and we don't want to talk over important information. So we will pause so that we aren't steamrolling anybody while they're talking.
Yeah, so if it just stops and then we're talking, that's not a cut. It's literally just us pausing it to have a conversation real quick.
It's a pause and then it will resume right where it left off.
Yes. You guys said you liked long videos,
so we figured you would be okay with being in the whole thing with us for the long haul. We're very excited to jump in.
Before we jump in, though,
you know what you got to do, guys. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and If you are already excited, drop some comments, tell us how pumped you are and how you think we're going to react. I'm excited to learn.
Oh my god.
How many of you have heard of BTS?
Who is BTS and why are they so popular? BTS is a 7-member group from South Korea.
They look
While
good.
the words boy band are
Yes,
often associated with the
huge.
image of screaming teen girls, that is far from reality. First, there's nothing wrong with being a young person showing love for something you enjoy. But what if I told you about 24% are in their 20s, 28% are in their 30s, and 21% are in their 40s? Take a closer look at this age and gender demographic for BTS's 2020 Map of the Soul ticket sales. Females ages 25 and up made 46% of web traffic, and 31% were males. BTS's fans named ARMY.
Honestly,
I remember reading that in the comments from some of you.
yeah, it was interesting because going through the comments, there were a lot of people that was telling us their ages, and I don't think any of them were like teenagers.
Yeah.
Any of them, honestly.
Everybody who mentioned their age and like just I guess demographic information, they were all like 20s, 30s.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
yeah,
there were a
and
few
then-
outliers. There were a few outliers that were even older as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I saw someone saying that they were in their 60s that have recently gotten into BTS. That is interesting because one of the reasons that I never really thought about checking them out is because that's what I heard them being was that, was the teenage girls love them
Exactly.
and stuff, which there's nothing wrong with. But when you think of that, you think of like a certain
Aesthetic and
yeah.
also like subject matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Yeah, where once you get to like a certain point in life, like maybe you want to hear something differently, or you want different aesthetic and such. So
Yeah.
that's really interesting because that's what I always heard, and it didn't really like put me off of them, but it just definitely didn't make me interested in them. That's for sure.
And I like how she opened it with that. The fact that they are called a boy band, but they are obviously not a typical boy band.
Yeah.
So we were really surprised to find that out. And I also think it's awesome because we've had a lot of people tell us that they get very deep into some issues in some of their discography. And we're really excited to hear some of that as well.
Yeah, very excited.
Yes. And as a lyricist, I'm excited to hear some writing styles.
Will often tell you BTS is not your typical boy band. And why? To get a better understanding, let us go back to the beginning. BTS was created by Big Hit Entertainment, whose mission statement is music and artist for healing. The company, and namely their CEO, Bang Si-hyuk, wanted BTS to be sincere and genuine figures that people could easily relate to and grow with. Not immaculate idols groomed amid studio culture, but real boys who shared their authentic personalities and talents with the world. Which is why BTS stands for 방탄소년단, Korean for Bulletproof Boy Scouts. Bangtan meaning to be resistant to bullets, so it means to block out stereotypes, criticisms, and expectations that are aimed at adolescents like bullets, to preserve the value and ideals of today's adolescent. In 2017, BTS rebranded their name and logo representing their growth and maturity, extending the meaning to beyond the scene. The new door-inspired logo symbolizes youth who don't settle for their current reality and instead open the door and go forward to achieve growth. BTS debuted on June 12, 2013 with 7 members: RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. All 7 members came from different parts of Korea. So at first, living together in a small apartment was a challenge. Their CEO, Bang Si-hyo, created a method for the boys whenever they got into an argument.
일단 싸워도 된다. 싸움을 두려워하기 때문에 우리 갈등이 커지는 거다라고 가리키고요. 그 다음에 마지막으로는 단 해결은 7이 같이 하는 거다. 싸움은 둘이 해도 해결은 7명이 같이 해라. 하기 너무 창피한 걸로 싸움을 해도 결국 같이 와서 저희가 이런 문제를 갖고 둘이 싸웠는데 이렇게 해서 이렇게 해결했습니다 라고 얘기를 하고, 그런 부분들이 이 팀의 친화력을 혹은 시너지를 강하게 만들고 있지 않나 이렇게 생각됩니다.
Over the years, the boys
Yes, and that is something that you guys told us about in the comments as well, that they all live together, and anytime there's a disagreement, they all have to talk it out until it's resolved.
It's honestly like it's a great idea too, because especially with such a large group, there's conflict between two of the members. It'll start spilling over into other aspects and areas of the group itself, especially if no one really understands what they're beefing about, what they're upset about, and then maybe they would just get annoyed of two of the members that are having issues, and then it creates more issues, and then all of a sudden 3 of them are beefing, and then it's to have everyone like sit down and then discuss as like an entire group what's going on and then try to resolve it that way definitely seems like a really good idea.
It's amazing because then there can't be any like he said things going on. Everybody's on the same level. Nobody's gonna try and finesse their way out of it. Everybody just has to own up to it and then resolve it. I think it's an amazing idea, and nobody likes to fight. Exactly like you said, nobody likes to fight. It's uncomfortable. We don't like it, so we just decide not to talk about it, and then it just gets worse.
Yep.
Because you just build it up to something bigger in your head every time.
I feel like if you're so popular and so famous in the spotlight like these guys are, the stresses and everything would just be overwhelming. And if you're not able to open up with the people that you're with and resolve the issues with the people that you're constantly with and your family, if you can't find a way to take care of that, everything's going to implode.
Exactly. And I think that's why he had to come up with that system for them.
Yep.
Because that's the only way that such a big group with all these crazy pressures could survive. Like they have to be a strong unit, and it sounds like they really are.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like they all support each other and help each other grow and deal with issues. Someone that is bad with press, I'm not saying any of them are necessarily, but for example, if they are bad with press, then somebody who's good with the press will balance that out. It's like a teeter-totter, and they're all helping keep everything afloat.
Exactly. And they all understand each other very well because they live together. That's lovely, and it's an amazing idea. And I'm glad that it's helped them grow so strong.
Yeah.
And also, thank you guys for telling us about it too, because as you know, we were very curious. We're like, they have to have little arguments, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And because from the original video, the reason I had asked was because their stage presence with each other was so loving and confident and everything, And
they had such a good flow.
Yeah, it just seemed like they had very healthy relationships with each other. And so, of course, it brought up the question of I wonder how much these guys fight. It seems like they really love each other, but how much do they fight? And if they do, what happens? And, coming from the rock side of stuff, you have Guns N' Roses and everything who absolutely hated each other. And sometimes you could tell on stage and they weren't very cohesive. And
it's really hard to hide body language.
Yes, exactly. It really is.
So it's lovely to see them all just having a great time together on stage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fun to watch, definitely. when they're vibing, when they're all vibing, it's hard not to vibe with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like that crowd at the beginning. Oh my goodness
God,
gracious.
yeah.
That was so many people, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it was massive.
Boys have come to love each other despite their difference in personalities, to the point where they'd feel incomplete with one member missing. They became each other's strength and support and formed a brotherhood.
뭔가 내 머릿속에는 옆에 멤버들이 있어야 뭔가 자연스러워. 그러니까 뭔가 내 핸드폰이나 지갑처럼 없으면 불안한 그런 것들 있잖아.
그죠. 소중하다 못해 없으면 안 될 사람들이긴 하죠. 왜냐면은 넘어져도 저 혼자 일어나는 게 아니라
Oh my god, she's gonna make me
그냥
cry.
같이 일어난 거니까.
좀 생각을 해보면 이런 7명이 어떻게 모였을까라는 생각이 들어요. 이제는. 예. 오래 지냈다고 해서 될 문제는 아니에요. 어떻게 보면은 운명인 것 같아요. 예. 되게 유치하지만 그냥 운명이었던 거예요. 이거는. 예.
Their climb to the top may seem sudden to those who didn't follow their journey, but it was far from a walk in the park. BTS's company, Big Hit Entertainment, started off small and faced numerous hardships, even coming close to bankruptcy. Since Big Hit wasn't a large company at that time, they lacked the resources for promoting BTS. Even getting the chance to debut was a fluke. Their debut performance opportunity came about because a music show needed a filler for someone else's spot. Even after they debuted, their performances would often get cut, and if they did make it on air, their screen time was very short since Big Hit didn't have the power or influence bigger companies had
Look how
over
young they look.
broadcasts.
I had no idea that their debut was a fluke. I had no clue. That is so surprising to me
Yeah.
because they're so good.
That's kind of like the greatest writer in the world will probably never be known. They could be just so talented, but unless you get that one lucky break,
It's never gonna come to fruition.
Yeah, it's just nothing's ever gonna happen with it. No one's ever gonna hear your music. No one's ever gonna care unless you get like that one lucky break.
And obviously, there's lots of hard work involved as well. It
Well,
rings
it's like-
true because their debut wasn't even like a planned event.
Yeah, it was like oh man, we need a filler. But like that's when the talent becomes incredibly important, because the fact that, you know, if they went in and then they didn't know what they were doing, then that'd
Then
be
it would've
terrible
written
for
them
them.
off
Yeah,
immediately.
you know, the first thing you gotta do is you have to perfect your craft, and then the next and the hardest part is getting in front of the right people. That's when it becomes super incredibly hard.
Yeah, and it makes me think back to, I don't know which member it was, when he was talking about how it might be corny, but he thinks it was fate that brought them together. I mean, I can't even argue it. I think it was fate, and then I think it was fate that they were on that show.
Yeah, I mean, like, I see it as fate simply because I can't imagine putting together a group with 7 people and getting along with all of them.
I can't either.
And it might just be my personality. You know, their personalities seem completely different than mine, but
I've been in several musical groups, and there has almost always been infighting
yeah,
amongst the members.
yeah, or you get like the one member where it's like, of course, part of the group, but they're kind of like, I don't know, they'd be like your drummer, not like my friend. It's like, oh yeah, that's my drummer, you know, where you don't really talk to him much. You guys just go in, kind of do your thing, and that's it. Like,
Yeah, and I think that's the difference, because for them, they're more of like a family unit
exactly.
and not just band members.
Yeah, which definitely makes you think it's fate for sure.
Yeah, and you know, we definitely believe in the red string of fate.
Yes, we do.
So,
So yeah, definitely agree with them, and yeah, it blows my mind. It seems like they just kind of blew up out of nowhere, but obviously that wasn't the case.
yeah. And obviously, they put in a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Since they were often not invited to a lot of big variety shows, the company found their own way to communicate with their audience through platforms such as YouTube. By vlogging their journey, they allowed us to discover their personalities. They also created their own variety shows and often live streamed with fans. They honed their crafts for hours on end, practicing in the dance studio
Lord.
and producing music, returning home at dawn to all sleep in one bedroom. 2 years of hard work and not knowing where they'd end up, they finally won their first music show award. Yet, as they grew in popularity, they were falsely accused of sajegi, which is when a company buys their own artist albums to boost sales for the charts. That's because people couldn't believe a group from a small company was selling well, ignoring the fact that a small company wouldn't have the resources to pull off such a scam. These were just a few of their hardships and struggles.
Yeah, rude assumption, gotta say. Second of all, maybe a few of the members of the company did buy the album, but it's because they love the music.
Well, and it was
Why
shown.
is that so hard to believe?
If they, what happens usually is like, you know, they'll come out with something like that, and you jump on a bandwagon. Like we were talking a little bit earlier, how I was saying that, like, yeah, it sounded like they were making it for like teenage girls, like jumped on the bandwagon, you know, like sometimes it just happens. If these people had actually looked into them, they would have seen all the promoting that they were doing
Online,
themselves
on their own.
Yeah, like the fact that they're making such an online presence is incredibly important, you know. And
It is.
It's that's if you're not good at having an online presence, then that's almost like half the battle.
Because people
that.
These days, it doesn't matter how good the music is. Most of the time, people stay in it for the artist. They have to like the artist and their personality. And they were sharing themselves on a social platform and looking like they were having an amazing time as well, which is fantastic.
I was thinking that too. Yeah, look great.
And every time they show their food, I want some. I think they were doing hot pot in one of the videos that they were showing. And I want some. Please. But yeah, no, I think that it's not fair of them to make that assumption. And I'm really glad that it didn't have a detrimental effect on them. I guess maybe we're about to see how bad it was. It says it was a few of their hardships and struggles. So maybe it did have a negative effect for a short period of time. But they built such a huge online community with their fans that it couldn't have kept them down for long.
It's stupid for people to assume that, of course, but one of the cool things is that they could look back at that and be like, what's up? Like, yeah, no, they didn't. We're just good. So, hey, what's up?
Yeah,
you know?
you're like, no, we just have a huge community that loves us and loves what we do.
Yeah, and like no one can deny that now.
No.
No way.
There is no way anybody can deny that now. So whoever came up with those headlines to try and sell papers, in your face.
Yeah, and good on the boys for continuing forward, you know?
Staying strong.
Yeah.
I created a separate video highlighting their past hardships. I'll link that in my description box. Throughout the years, BTS were able to reach impressive milestones while continuing to sing in Korean. They shattered cultural language barriers with music and attracted an international audience. They grew organically by staying true to themselves while building a genuine connection with their fans from around the world. During an era where streaming numbers have gone up and traditional album sales have gone down, BTS has become an industry anomaly. Their latest album, Map of the Soul 7, released February 21, 2020, is the best-selling physical album of the year, and they sold over 500,000 copies in just the United States alone. The biggest kicker? Well, BTS did this without a single bundle. And what does bundle mean? Artists would bundle merchandise or concert tickets with the album's sales. For example, a copy of an artist's album, digital or physical, would be included in every t-shirt sale or ticket sold for their concert. These sales would count towards charting numbers and become an industry-wide tactic in the US to help boost sales figures and in effect climb up the Billboard charts. In a 2019 New York Times article, they said about half the 39 titles that topped the charts last year were sold as part of ticket or merchandise bundles. Without the help of bundles and driven by the power of ARMYs alone, BTS were able to beat a lot of historic records, such as Michael Jackson's 36-year record and the Beatles' 22-year record. While these musical acts are famous around the world, Sugar has said it's a great honor to be called the Beatles of the 21st century. At the same time, it's a bit pressuring to be called that. We are BTS. We want to be the BTS of the 21st century.
I can
The members
understand that.
themselves have always
That's insane.
Yeah, man.
That's insane.
That's absolutely insane. I think I saw as well. They were saying that their last album was in 2020. Yeah.
Yes, at least that's what she was talking about just now. 2020.
Yeah, they're releasing a new album. I think either this month or
Yes.
next month.
Yes, I remember seeing comments talking about them dropping a new album.
Yeah, and I am incredibly curious on how that one's going to sell.
Me too.
Because from what it seems to me, they're still just going up. Like new people are still getting into them and are curious about them.
Yeah, check
Like,
us out right now.
Yeah, so I am so curious if they're gonna outsell their last album, and if they do, that'll be insane.
Oh,
I'm not saying that I'd
my.
really be surprised that they did, but it would just be incredible.
It'd be amazing.
It'd be really cool.
And I feel like they deserve it. I'm just saying, from everything that I'm seeing,
Yeah,
it seems like they really deserve this.
they really worked for it. Just all their time dancing and oh my,
And they just
Everything
and
else,
they've built
jeez.
genuine connections
yeah,
with people across the whole world,
yeah,
which is not easy to do.
no,
And like they looked at the language barrier and just like laughed at it. Language barrier was not a thing for them, which is insane because it's something that's held artists back from becoming global since the dawn of music.
Yeah.
Even ex-Japan had problems.
at least like in at least the American market, from what I can think of for examples, the only other language that I can think of that I heard on mainstream would be like Spanish. Selena Gomez, she did just regular pop albums and then she dropped one in complete Spanish.
Yeah.
Like, so things like that happen, or there'll be like a crossover, like Justin Bieber and I can't remember who the artist was, but Despacito or
Yeah,
whoever he did
Despacito
that
got
with.
very popular.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that those are rare in itself, songs like that, but
And
then
was it Selena?
oh, Selena, yeah, yeah,
She was crossing that language barrier
yeah.
in the US.
But for BTS to speak Korean, which, I mean, at least some Americans know Spanish, so they can relate to that. But I don't know anybody who knows Korean. And the fact that they can just like come in here and be like, we're going to just use Korean lyrics and everything, but we're still going to just take over your charts, like, that's very impressive.
It's so impressive. It's amazing. But that's insane. I can't believe they did it without any bundles. Because even artists we know, like from Denver,
Yeah.
they always have bundles for their album sales.
Yeah.
And that's how they pre-sell so that they can actually manufacture all of the product.
Yeah.
So that's why it's also very popular, because it helps fund the entire thing.
Exactly.
So the fact that they did it without that is insane,
Yeah.
especially in that volume. That's crazy.
Maybe they should drop a bundle. Do it.
I mean-
Just outsell everything everywhere. Drop a bundle. Let's go. Just end it.
End
Or
it.
be the just
New record.
yeah. Just end it. Just do it, guys. Let's do this.
But still, like, how cool is it that they can say that they did it without a bundle?
Yeah, like they didn't need it, so you know, like
that is so impressive.
yeah, that's awesome. I'm jealous, that's for sure.
Yeah. Me too. but I'm also proud of them.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. It seemed genuine, and that makes me want them to succeed. And they have, but watching this, I'm like, come on, guys, you got this.
I know.
Even though I already know they do got this, but
I know. I love this.
He's been involved in their music and engaged with their fans even before they officially debuted. From their debut album, Too Cool for School, in 2013 to their most
that's
recent
adorable.
Map of the Soul 7. All 7 members have contributed as either writers and or producers on every album. All of BTS are associate members of the Korea Music Copyright Association. And as of August 2020, J-Hope, Suga, and RM were all promoted to full members of the association. They even create music that's released for free on SoundCloud as gifts to their fans. Much of their work touches on subjects like mental health, youth and female empowerment, child abuse, cyberbullying, self-love and development, and socio-economic injustices. Much of their work is also inspired by past writers and thinkers.
These little clips of these music videos are getting me real excited.
I know she was talking about, obviously, the subjects that they touch on.
Yeah.
And that got me definitely excited because we keep hearing about how they have touched on personal subjects, but we weren't really sure in what way. And seeing the clips of the videos and then her explaining a little bit more cyberbullying, female empowerment, stuff like that, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm
really
already
excited
getting
for that.
some feels. I am so excited to watch these videos and read the lyrics to the song because I don't speak Korean.
Well, I think they also said in the comments that if we turn on subtitles,
It should
it'll show it in
translate.
English.
Perfect.
But if not, then we will absolutely look up the lyrics. Either way, we're gonna figure out what it says. But we just want to make sure that we get what the artist is saying correct because it's what their artist, what they want to say, and I
it's
feel like that's very important.
Yes, It is important.
Their latest series, Map of the Soul, incorporates psychological concepts by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. BTS is not afraid to use their platform to amplify underrepresented voices and issues, taking numerous risks with their career while receiving backlash from people in power. BTS are also
Yes.
as charitable as they are talented. Throughout the years, members have been donating individually and as a group. BTS rarely publicize donations, so fans often find out about them if media organizations uncover the details. One of BTS's few public announcements was in November 2017 for their Love Myself campaign. They
They are
partnered
looking so
with
good.
UNICEF
Yeah.
to create a campaign aimed at protecting children and teenagers from around the world, with the hope of making the world a better place through music. BTS and their company, Big Hit Entertainment, pledged 500 million Korean won and donated 3% of the income from the sales of physical albums of the Love Yourself series, along with 6 other fundraising initiatives, including the Love Myself merchandise, where 100% of its proceeds were pledged to the cause. The Love Yourself series, which contained 3 albums total, sold over 7 million copies worldwide. On September 24, 2018, BTS was invited to deliver a speech about the Love Myself campaign at the United Nations General Assembly. On January 15, 2020, Formula E announced their partnership with BTS to help combat climate change. On June 3, 2020, BTS tweeted their support for Black Lives Matter. A few days later, Variety reported that BTS and Big Hit Entertainment had donated $1 million to support the Black Lives Matter movement. When ARMYs got wind of the news, they matched their $1 million donation in one day. Now, these are just a couple
In
of
one
their
day
acts
even.
of charity.
Wow.
In one day?
That's incredible. That's crazy. Jesus.
That's insane.
That's crazy. I was like, just the fact that that they matched, and then it was with the one day, and I was like, oh my god.
But
Jeez.
as she was listing these, I thought she was going to stop after like the first one. maybe like the first two. And then she kept going. And I was just blown away by the fact that we've been sleeping on this for this long.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I pay attention to politics a little bit. I do now more than I used to, but I do remember seeing something about them speaking at the UN. But
See, I don't remember that. I think I remember mention of their support of the Black Lives Matter movement. I think I do remember that, but I can't believe I don't know all the other ones.
Yeah, I just all I
Well, I
knew.
do now.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah, now we do.
xCeleste.
Very informative. I had heard about the UN thing. I had no idea what it was about. I think that's where it mainly clicked in my head that they were massive. I'm like, these guys are talking to the United Nations?
Yeah.
In what world? Like, what?
How often have musicians been invited to speak at the UN?
I like to see that they're using their massive platform in such a positive way. I love it. It's awesome.
They really are, because how many times do you hear about artists that are insanely huge, but they just love to buy yachts and cars and go exotic places? Maybe there's something about the fact that most of the American artists like to show like the lifestyle
Yes.
because it sells a lot on like Instagram and those platforms. People want to see the lifestyle because then that's their goals. And that's also how a lot of these people start like merchandise lines and make more money that way.
Yeah.
So maybe we're just blindsided by all of that as well. But this is so cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm also curious because she had mentioned that they were ruffling the feathers of some very important, powerful people. And I would like to know a little bit more about that. It sounds interesting to me.
Yeah.
And in what way? Because, like, of course, they're from South Korea. And I don't know anything about the culture over there.
I don't
like
really either.
And the fact that they're speaking about
Socio-political issues.
yeah, I don't know anything about their issues in any way. So I'm curious. Of course, we'll figure some of them out because we want to watch some of the videos. It just made me really curious on what they're saying that people are having issues with.
Yeah,
You know.
I can't say that I know much about South Korea at all. So I would be very interested to learn more. But it sounds like maybe their challenging of the status quo might also be frustrating some people. So yes, I absolutely love how charitable that they are. And it just reinforces what everybody's been saying, that they're just amazing people. I think we might be joining the BTS army. We haven't even listened to the music that we're supposed to listen to yet.
Well, that's what I was going to
But
say.
I'm loving them as people.
If it turns out that, we don't really vibe with their music that much, I definitely appreciate them as people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I fully support them.
And I do appreciate them as artists too.
Yes.
Like, no matter what, the fact they're incredibly talented, you can't deny that.
Yeah, and I love to see them in the studio working on music like that because it just makes me think of when we're working super hard on stuff as well. And like, we don't have huge teams of people that we could like lean on for any help in that area. It is just us. They could decide to do that, but they choose to keep their hands in their craft, which is amazing. And I think it makes better music.
With their socially conscious music, BTS created a new fandom culture that brings together fans from different national and racial identities. This led to the emergence of bilingual ARMY volunteers who translated BTS Korean lyrics and videos in their language almost real time, making the content immediately available to non-Korean speakers.
That's super cool.
We may all speak different languages, but their music and their message connected people from around the world, with different ethnicities, background, gender, and age. BTS has also expressed their love and respect for ARMY countless of times, such as always mentioning them first during speeches, responding to fans on their social media app Weverse, showing their appreciation for ARMY projects, halting rehearsals for the Muslim prayers in Saudi Arabia. The youngest member, Jungkook, even got the fandom name tattooed on his hand. Together with ARMY, they grew as individuals and as artists.
저는 굳이 영향력을 주는 거창한 것을 안 원하고 그냥 저희를 보는 분들이 행복하고 웃을 수 있다면 그걸로
팬이란 게 진짜 뭘까 막 이런 생각을 가끔 많이 하거든요. 결국 그 사람들 때문에 저희가 무대에 서는 거라서 그 봐주는 사람들을 위해서 노래를 하고 무대를 하는 거기 때문에 결국 우리는 그 사람들한테 진짜 감사해야 되고 무대 하나하나에 최선을 다해야 되고.
간단하게 얘기해서는 가수를 하고 있는 어떤 제일 중요한 이유인 것 같아요. 저는 뭐 방송 활동도 물론 싫지 않지만 진짜 콘서트는 그냥 제가 이 방탄소년단을 하고 있는 이유가 맞는 것 같아요.
참 다행히도 내가 원래 하고 싶었던 이 메시지 하고 싶었던 음악들을 하고 있어서 참 다행이라고 생각을 해요. 그러기 때문에 되게 그렇게 살고 있는 것 같아요. 긍정적인 에너지를 주죠. 일단 이 일을 좋아하는 거, 이 일을 사랑하고 너무 좋아하는 게 저에게 큰 영향을 주는 것 같아요. 왜냐면 이 일을 하기 싫고 실증이 나고 하면은 무대 위에서도 나타나기 때문에 이 일을 굉장히 사랑하기 때문에 내가 무대 위에서 퍼포먼스를 할 수 있고 노래를 할 수 있는 것 같아요.
계속 와서 응원해주는 모습, 그리고 이렇게 저희를 진심으로 좋아해주는 그런 표정들, 힘들 때 그런 표정들이 저에게 더 힘을 주는 것 같아서
저희를 알아봐 주신 여러분들이라면 여러분의 꿈이 아니더라도 여러분의 삶, 여러분의 인생에 언젠가 저희의 존재가, 저희의 음악이, 저희의 무대가, 저희의 사진, 영상이 여러분한테 아주 조금이라도 아픔이 100이라면 그 100을 99, 98, 97로 만들어줄 수 있다면 그걸로 저희의 존재의 가치는 충분합니다. 정말 사랑합니다.
Their love for ARMY has also
Every time that they're talking, I feel the tears welling up. They're so sincere and I
Yeah.
love it so much. And we feel everything that they're saying. I've almost verbatim typed that message to fans who've reached out to us for our music as well. Because it's true when you're creating, like, if you touch one person and let them know that they're not alone, it's why you make music.
Yeah, I remember early on the first time that someone reached out
Yeah.
and talking about how much we helped them, and it was weird. It was almost like you're like, but like, how well, what did we do? Like, we don't deserve that. Like, geez, stop. Like, not in a bad way, just in a
it's
you want your music to do something like that, but
it's hard to believe when it does
exactly.
as well. But it's
Yeah.
the biggest compliment that you can ever get. And it inspires you to keep going and keep writing. And obviously, they have all these people that show up to these concerts and show them how much that they have affected their lives.
Yeah.
And that is so encouraging.
I feel like it'd be incredibly emotional.
Very.
Going on to stage and
humbling.
Yeah, and so many people there for you, and knowing that for a good portion of them, your music has completely changed their lives and will forever be a staple in their life.
I cannot imagine, because we've had a few people reach out to tell us that. And I cannot imagine looking out at a stadium full of people that feel that way.
No. I can't even imagine meeting one of them. Just meeting one of them would be hard. I'd be like, oh my God, hello. How are you doing? Hugs, tears.
Hugs and tears.
Just because it's just...
It's an emotional thing. Music is an emotional thing. It is very intellectual as well, but it is so rooted in emotion, which is how it can cross all these language barriers.
Yeah.
And these guys just sound amazing and genuine. And it sounds like they're in it for all the right reasons.
Yeah, because a lot of times you can have an artist that is absolutely massive, and they can say that all that they want, but it seems like they're actually genuine about it.
Yeah.
They're not just saying it. They're not just saying, "Oh, hey, yeah, no, thanks. That's really cool, you guys." Like,
yeah, no, you can hear the emotion in their voice when they're explaining these things. I think that's part of why every time they're talking, I feel like I'm gonna cry. I start to get a little choked up over here.
well, a lot of people make the connection with the audience like part of the game, where it's like, I'm gonna pretend that I care about my fans so that they feel like I'm a good person, so that they want to listen to my music and spread my music around. And they don't actually care about the fans. They just care about the money and
But
the
you
fame.
can hear it in their interviews.
With BTS, you can hear that that's not their goal. They genuinely care about their fans and helping people. And of course, with all their donations, as we've seen in this, they do care about people and helping people. And
It's insane and just amazing.
yeah.
I love these guys. They sound so genuine when you hear them speak. And I love it.
Also help them decide on re-signing another 7-year contract with Big Hit Entertainment.
I bet that 7-year contract was a no-brainer.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, yeah, can we make it 27?
Yeah.
They mentioned doing it for their fans and not for money. So while people often discredit BTS's talent, likening their popularity to superficial aspects that come with the image of a boy band, it is their development of personalities and sincerity towards their art and their fans that made their fandom the size and reach that it has become. I hope people will come to realize that BTS is more than just their singing and their dancing skills. They're not just performers, but artists who have healed and inspired millions of people around the world. For a deeper dive into BTS, please refer to these websites, apps, and ARMY accounts to stay updated. We're also working on more video projects and a website, so stay tuned.
Holy cow. That was a lot of information, but amazing. Thank you, xCeleste, and thank you everyone who recommended the video. We appreciate it. It was a lot, and it was really cool to hear.
Yeah. Jeez. And the thing is, there was a lot there, but I know there's a lot more that we could look into.
Yes.
And we will be looking into when it comes to their music videos and things like that. And I know
Yes.
as we mentioned, they have a new album coming out, which we're going to have to check out at this point.
I know. And this only made me super excited to listen to the music because I want to hear these messages that make them feel so passionate and make the ARMY feel so passionate as well. I'm excited. This was amazing. We didn't even listen to any of the music, and I'm all in right now.
Ultimately, it seems like they're super genuine and super good people. And we were told that, obviously, but watching this, it makes it more clear, more obvious. They really are super good people, and that makes me want to support them, even if we end up not liking any of their songs, which I doubt will happen. But even if that happens, have to support them. They're awesome. They're really cool. And considering they're so huge and massive, they're exactly what I wish every artist was when it comes to their positivity and
the way that they impact their fans.
Yeah.
And obviously their communities because of all of their charitable work that reached people that aren't even fans. So it's just amazing. These guys are amazing. And I am so impressed by all of this. And it's just really cool to hear. I know lots of people were talking about it in the comments. There's one that's particularly sticking out in my mind where somebody said that usually people start listening to BTS for the music and because they heard about them, but then people really become a part of the ARMY once you learn about them as people, and that's why you stick around.
I feel like we're going the opposite way. We're like learning about them, and then I feel like we'll listen to the music and be like, all right, they're good people and their music is good, so we'll stick around.
But I'm super excited about this, and I am also very excited to support such amazing people. And it was honestly chance that we decided to watch that BTS video.
Because we were talking about doing this channel, obviously, to introduce ourselves and other people to new music. So our subscribers, hopefully, we're going to be doing other videos, and hopefully it's new to you guys. Maybe you'll like it, maybe not. And then also for us, check out some artists. I had heard something about them from, I think it was the Grammys, was like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, yeah, BTS. I was like, we should check them out because, of course, we've heard about them for years, but I've never actually listened to them in
might as
any
well
capacity.
actually hear them and experience it.
Yeah. And so we just thought it'd be cool to check out, and maybe a few people would comment, let us know kind of what they're about and everything. Obviously, it was more than just a few people.
It was much more. Much, much more.
Which was a huge surprise, but
and we appreciate
a welcomed one.
All of you.
I'm really excited that it popped into my head, and now we're going down. We're taking this journey together.
Yes, and it's already hitting me in my feels. So I am so ready to start jamming some of their music and reading some more heartfelt lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm about it. I'm ready.
If you guys are about and ready to, then stick around because we'll have more videos coming out.
We have more. And obviously, like he said, we will be releasing other videos where we're listening to some other artists as well. Feel free to check them out because this whole channel is about learning new things and exposing yourself to new music. So we want to help expose you to new music, and we want you to expose us to new music.
Yeah, we've got some suggestions in the comments already. The BTS one for things to check out besides just BTS. We do plan on checking some of those things out. So
we do.
Stick around and see if you come across, or if we come across anything that you like.
Please let us know all of your thoughts on our opinions and thoughts and feelings as we went through this introduction video, because it was a lot, and a lot of it is what you guys were telling us in the comments as well. So just give us some feedback down below and give us some more suggestions.
Yeah, if there's any part of the video that we didn't touch on as much as you wish that we had, that maybe we should have paid a little bit more attention to or whatnot, just let us know.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot. It was pretty jam-packed with stuff, and we did our best to follow along with it, but there might be some things here and there that we missed, and if it's really interesting that we should look into, definitely let us know.
Yeah, or if you just wanted to hear our take on a specific thing that you didn't think we elaborated enough on, just let us know. We'd love to talk to you guys, and we will definitely have a conversation in the comments.
But honestly, we appreciate everyone's support.
At the end of the day, we just want to have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. So please have one with us.
Yes. So make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit your notification bell so you can check out some of our other videos and see if it's some music that you like or maybe don't like. Who knows?
Yeah.
But thank you guys for being on this journey with us. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we can't wait to see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.